All right, if you've ever designed anything that's going to be printed, you know there's this one decision that can make or break the whole thing. And it happens way before any ink hits the page. We are talking, of course, about paper. So in this guide, we're going to walk through how to choose the perfect one every single time. Just think about the last time somebody handed you a business card. You can feel the difference instantly, can't you? There's that flimsy, kind of forgettable one, and then there's the one that feels substantial, premium. You know the one I'm talking about. That simple feeling in your hand is just incredibly powerful. And that's because long before anybody reads a single word you've written, the paper itself has already sent a message. It's communicating quality, it's communicating professionalism, and yeah, it's showing your attention to detail. Okay, so with all the options out there, it can feel a little overwhelming. But don't worry, we're going to break this whole thing down into simple, easy to understand parts. You know, in our super digital world, you might think paper is becoming less important. But actually, the opposite is true. A physical, really well-chosen piece of print can cut right through all that digital noise. It can make an even bigger impact on how your brand or your project is perceived. Okay, let's dive into this because if you only take one thing away from this today, this should be it. The single most crucial factor in choosing paper is its weight. To put it simply, paper weight is just a measure of its density and how durable it is. Heavier paper is thicker, it's stronger, and it just feels more significant in your hand. Lighter paper, on the other hand, is thinner and more flexible. That weight directly creates that premium feel of the final product. So how is paper weight actually measured? Well, this is where it gets a little tricky, because there are two main systems. Think of it like temperature. You've got GSM, or grams per square meter. That's the international standard, kind of like Celsius. Then you've got pounds, or lbs, which is mostly the North American system, like Fahrenheit. The really tricky part is that the pound measurement actually changes depending on the type of paper. So here's my advice. When in doubt, just stick with GSM. It's the most consistent and universal measure you can use. So let's translate these numbers into the real world. That super thin newspaper stock, that's lightweight, sitting around 35 to 80 GSM. The pages of a nice magazine or a quality flyer, that's your medium weight, up to about 170 GSM. Heavyweight, from 200 to 300 GSM. That's what you want for business cards and nice wedding invitations. And anything over 300, now you're in specialty territory for things like high-end packaging. All right, now that we've got weight down, let's do a quick tour of the main types of paper you're going to run into. Think of this as opening up your artist palette of options. First up is bond paper. This is your everyday workhorse, the MVP of the office. It's what's in most printers and copiers, and it's perfect for things like reports, proposals, and resumes. It's super versatile and works great with pretty much any printer you throw at it. Next is cover paper, which you probably just know as cardstock. And just like the name suggests, it's a heavier, much more durable stock. This is what you reach for when you need something sturdy that's going to make a strong, lasting impression. Think menus or the cover of a fancy report. Book paper is really interesting. It's specifically engineered for projects with a lot of pages. It's designed to be easy on the eyes for reading, but also fantastic at reproducing vibrant, full-color images, which is exactly why it's the standard for magazines and catalogs. And finally, we have index and text papers. You can think of these as your high-quality premium options for when you really want your project to shine. We're talking top-tier brochures, fancy letterheads, and any professional document where the look and feel is absolutely critical. Okay, so we've covered weight and type, but the true sensory experience of paper, that comes from its texture and its finish. This is where you can add a whole other layer of personality to your design. A smooth texture just feels clean and modern. An embossed texture adds this physical depth, giving it a very sophisticated touch. Linen and laid textures, they actually have a woven fabric-like feel that screams premium quality. And a metallic texture, well, that's just pure eye candy, designed to catch the light. And the final touch is the finish. A glossy finish is super reflective and shiny. It makes colors just pop right off the page, perfect for photos. A matte finish is the exact opposite. No glare, which gives it a more subtle, professional look that's great for text. And satin? Well, satin is that perfect, beautiful balance right in the middle. Okay, I know that is a lot of information. We've got weight, type, texture, finish. It is very easy to see why this can be a tough choice. But don't worry, let's pull it all together right now. This is the payoff. We can boil this entire complex decision down to a really simple, actionable framework you can use for pretty much any project. It all comes down to this simple 4-step checklist. First, define your purpose. What is this paper for? A business card needs to be durable, a book needs to be readable. A good rule of thumb, if you're going for luxury, start with a heavier textured paper. If it's for mass distribution, you want to prioritize something lightweight and cost-effective. Second, match the printing method. Not all papers play nicely with all printers. Third, and this is an obvious one, but it's crucial, respect the budget. And finally, consider the environment by looking for recycled or eco-friendly options. At the end of the day, it all comes down to this. The paper you choose isn't just a carrier for your message. It is a fundamental part of that message. It directly impacts how people are going to perceive your product and your brand. So the next time you start a print project, just take a moment and think about that very first impression, because your paper choice speaks long before you do. What message are you going to send?